What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Run Pure Sports Hardwood Show. We're here breaking down the 10-game NBA slate. Tons of news to get to. Tons of guys out tonight that present a ton of value, which we'll talk about. But before we do that, I'm going to introduce my two boys. As always, on Friday, AP, Big T. We'll start with you, AP. MLB in the books. How did it go for you yesterday?
Yeah, it was a really good day one. I just used our content. Honestly, I was doing the NBA stuff all day, and I had like 10 minutes to go and fire my team. I did. I had a good day. No complaints. Used the cores just like a member would and printed. So yeah, it was all. I'm gonna do the same thing tonight because here's how we're set up is I'm still grounded NBA. A lot of us are still grounded NBA. So when we're going once NBA locks, I'm gonna go and dial in my build. Very simple, just like any member would. That's exactly what I'm going to do until NBA is over.
And it's funny because you hear some of the feedback and the stories from some of our members that have had good nights, and they say, you know what, I didn't have a ton of time, so I signed on to the site, plugged in your course, put in a couple more guys, and shipped 50K while I was on the crapper doing it on my phone. I mean, it's been absolutely incredible. Big T, what's going on? Thoughts on the opening day of MLB? This is an NBA show. We're going to break down the entire slate, but MLB is going as well. So, initial thoughts day one.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't have gone better all the way around. And I mean, I don't even know where to begin yesterday. We had JSU crushed. He played two teams. So many times these people say, oh, he only won because he had 150 teams. Oh, well, no, he only had two teams. Oh, he played 30,000 to win 100. No, he only played $1,000. Yep. He had two teams in the $15 and two teams in the $444 for a total of like $1,000, counting all of his entries with the two. Ships over 200K right out of the gate. And there's just, I mean, if you're a hater, what do you even say? There's nothing to even say. And on top of that, that's not even the best part. One of our longest members, Redmond, who grinds all the sports, college basketball, freaking everything since the beginning, ships 50K in the same tournaments. And then on top of that, you go to the night slate, the 3-game 10 o'clock slate. We got another member, Swintz, or I think his name's Swintz. Yeah, ships 50K on a $15 tournament. So we ship it all. I mean, NBA, we had winners last night. I know on the show yesterday. I've been talking it up. I mean, we got to take the victory laps when we get them. I've given like 10 straight winners on the show. Yesterday, I said there's no way the Heat lose. There's no way the Nuggets lose. You can parlay them both easy W's. I mean, it's just winners all around it, Run Pure. That's what we do.
I mean, it is I was just thinking about it earlier, and it is it's got to be tough to be a hater right now. I mean, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole too much, but if you're out there and you're hating on Run Pure Sports, it has been a tough ride for you the last 2 months because it's been almost every single night, multiple sports, multiple ways, GPPs, cash games, straight up bets. Like you said, you're giving away these bets and they've all hit. It has been a struggle for the haters. So just to recap everything, this is going to be part of our opening segment that, our members win. We want to, prove to the community that's not only us that have the big wins. Our members have had a lot of success. Like you said, JSU, $200,000 out of the gate. And, we kind of went through and scheduled out all our, coordinators and what JSU is supposed to be focusing on NBA right now. JSU is on the NBA category. He ships $200,000 out of the gate in MLB. It just shows you how well-rounded of a team we have. And that's the thing I'm most proud of, honestly, how well-rounded of a team. Everyone on our team
He shipped a freaking $15 tournament with 1 million people in it with two teams. Just think about that.
Two teams. Absolutely incredible. I mean, absolutely. And like you said, our boy Redmond, longtime member, grinds a lot of sports, 50K. Swint last night. I mean, then you pull up Swint's win. So he won 50K in the night slate. But you pull up the contest that he won. We got the guy in 4th place. We got Swint again in 7th place. That's the best part about these streams.
The dude in 4th place is a good story too, because he lives kind of by me. And one of my cousins runs a bar, and he literally told me the dude went outside to smoke with like 5 minutes before lock. It took him 30 seconds to put his team together. This is a true story. without the smoke. 30 seconds later, comes in with his team, ships 3,000. Like, that's a true story.
It's incredible. I mean, and you hear these stories all the time. You hear the stories. The guy said, "Oh, I was at work and I was taking a shit, and I pulled up my phone, I grabbed the cores, plugged in the team, plugged in a couple more, and I shipped 10K, 20." You hear the stories all the time. Absolutely incredible. And I feel we're stroking ourselves a little bit, but I feel like we have the right to, and our members have had. And one more piece here is going to be our boy Big Dick Nick, who was in the chat a few days ago, said, "Listen, I'm going to give back. I want to stake somebody opening day MLB." Well, it ended up being our boy Caesar. Caesar won the stake to the $220 contest on FanDuel yesterday. What does he go and do?
Yep.
Turns that $222 into $1,250. He finished in third place in that contest. It is a good time to be an RPS member. I'll tell you that much. If you are not, you are missing out. And unfortunately, we warned you last week on all our shows. Heater 25 coming to an end, day one MLB. Unfortunately, now you got to pay the full price. But lucky for you, the full price is not all that bad. $80 for DFS, $100, everything on the website, DFS and bets. No markup for when other sports start. I'm still getting emails from these other companies. Hey, sign up for baseball. $300 for baseball. No. That's not how it works at Run Pure Sports. One price. Everything on the site. $80 for DFS, $100 for DFS and bets. The bet side has had a lot of success as well. All right. Anything else, boys?
Yeah. So as you were talking about Good Mojo, members giving stuff out, I got a text from our boy JSU who shipped yesterday. He wants to keep the Good Mojo going. He said he's going to give away a $555 ticket to baseball tonight and a $444 ticket to NBA if we hit some numbers and get some entertainment. I think for the $444 ticket, what do we need to get? We're at 450 watching, 170. We got to get to, what do we think? 350? We got to double these numbers. 350 for the 444 ticket.
Let's hit up. I said we hit a couple baseball games here. Well, or basketball games. We'll hit the first couple basketball games. And we'll circle back. Let some people sprinkle in.
Impress us though. We got to get like we did the few of those shows. Show JSU what it's all about for giving. Yeah. What is that? $9.99 in tickets.
$1,000
if we get it going. They're not guaranteed though. We got to hit the numbers and stuff.
You got to hit the numbers. We have to hit the numbers. It's the only fair way.
And the mojo.
Yep. So tweet out the link to the show. Get some more people in here because you never know. I mean, we've been prone to add on as well as the show goes on. You get us excited, we will add on. So make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're gonna do a couple of these NBA games, then we'll circle back and kind of pick the number and we'll go ahead and give away these tickets today. I mean, it's always Friday ticket giveaway. I mean, just good mojo going into the weekend. Got multiple sports going on. It's a good time, boys. It's a good time. All right. Now, anything else? Are we good? Good to hop in?
I think we're good. I mean, it was a long stroke fest, but I think we're good.
It
keep stroking sometimes. I'm good with that. This slate is easy. It's an easy slate. It's a very easy slate. Yeah, I say we keep stroking.
Go one more round of strokes.
Yeah. Got anything else? Yeah. Stroke fests are fun. Stroke fests are a good time. All right, we'll talk about some of these basketball games. First game on the slate, we have the Warriors, we have the Raptors, 219.5 total. Toronto's favored by 5 in this game, and a lot of news in this game. I mean, Curry is going to be out, and Kyle Lowry is going to be out on the Raptors side. And, a couple guys immediately come to the forefront, especially on the Raptors side with Lowry out. I think Siakam is going to be popular tonight. Good price tag, 7.8K on DK. I think Fred VanVleet is also a candidate to have a big game here tonight. On the Warriors side, I don't think it's as clear as the Raptors side. Yes, Lowry's out or Curry's out, but I don't know. The price tags aren't all that great on these guys. I mean, Poole at 6.1, Wiggins is all the way up to 7.5, Oubre's up to 6.5. With all the value we have that we're going to talk about later, I don't think I'm going to be landing on the Warriors all that much, despite Curry being out. Raptors guys, like I said, definitely interested in VanVleet, definitely interested in Siakam. I'm going to go to you first, AP. Thoughts here on this Warriors-Raptors game?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the kind of cupcake easy spots when looking at the Raptors side without Kyle Lowry. One of the reasons why we always like the Raptors is they play their starters a ton of minutes. We typically know where the usage is going to come and where the production is going to come to. In this matchup, I got a ton of interest in Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent, OG and Nobi has been playing very well. He racks up the peripherals very nicely. And then he gets it done too. He's starting to get more aggressive on the offensive side of the court. I will say, like, the only guy I have a little bit of concern, I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say about Siakam, but I do think he has a tougher matchup against Draymond. So it's kind of pushing me towards Van Vliet, Gary Trent, and Anunoby. And then you can always play Boucher off the bench. I mean, he either sucks or goes off. It's like no in between. So I think the safe route is Fred Van Vliet, Anunoby, and Trent, basically.
Yeah, I agree with you there. You know, the thing with me, I don't know. I'm curious to see what Big T says overall about the slate, because he's very good at, analyzing when it's a slate where it's just, you don't need to get cute. To me, this is a slate where you just don't want to get cute. There's some really good values that you don't want to pass up on. There's some spends that you don't want to pass up on. It's just a don't get too cute kind of slate for me. Big T, is that what you're thinking, like overall? And then talk about this game, the Warriors Raptors game too.
Yeah, it kind of leads back into the point of another stroke fest. But yesterday I hopped on the After Lock or Up to Lock show with JSU and Holden. And between 7 and 7:30, when we were waiting on a lot of the news as far as New Orleans starters and different things, we basically said the same thing on the show yesterday, where once we got the James Johnson is starting news, you had to play 4 or 5 New Orleans guys. We said it on the show. We got people on Kawhi. And the craziest part was we literally went through that on the show and posted it in Discord, the updated. And there was still some hater in the Discord saying we mislead people, which is just the most insane thing ever. But the good thing is we got a bunch of members now that always come in and basically tell them how it actually is, because we literally gave the team on the freaking show. Exact 5 New Orleans, couple studs, you got a winner. Well, that leads back into your normal question you just asked. Yeah, I mean, it's super easy again. You got these Toronto guys and you got these New Orleans guys, and they're great plays. Toronto, man, what happened to them? They have lost a shit ton of games in a row, and I don't really know. I kind of agree with AP about Pascal, where Draymond, if Draymond's motivated, these are the games I worry about with Draymond, though, where, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he just didn't play, too. I mean, you got Curry out. You got one of these games where, what's the motivation level for Draymond, I guess, is the question, with just not a ton going on for them tonight. But these Toronto guys are great plays, all of them. Obviously, Van Vliet is going to be one of the best. OG continues to play better and better, more usage. Gary Trent, same thing. Bunch of good options, 5,600. Pascal, I mean, you have to consider him. He's definitely in a good spot. So those 4 definitely in play. I'm not going to play Boucher. I mean, he's killed me lately. Done with him, done with Baines. I mean, Baines is only 3K. I'd probably play Baines before Boucher just because of price. I mean, he's only 3K. Who knows? Maybe he pops off at some point for 3K. But just give me these 4 on this slate. I don't think you really need to go anywhere else.
Yeah, I agree. And like I kind of said, it's just to me, it's like a just don't get too cute type of slate. So we'll keep it moving along. We got the Rockets, we got the Celtics, 223 total. Boston favored by 11.5 in this game. 223 total. Yeah, like I said. So this is a game I have probably no interest in outside of Robert Williams. I think you can play him. He's flashed some upside, obviously, since the trade deadline. So I think he's in play a little bit, but Boston is essentially back to full strength for the most part. They're going to have all their guys and Fournier now as well. It makes it hard to really play any of these guys, despite the good matchup against the Rockets. So I'm going to be off the Celtics side. And then the Rockets side, I mean, I'm not going to play Wall or Wood, and those are kind of the only guys that would be in play for me tonight. So this game is a game that I'll have no exposure to. AP, are you seeing this one any differently?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, why would I play anyone in this game? I mean, maybe if John Wall's out, you could maybe make an argument for Kevin Porter Jr., but I don't think he's even that good of a play in this matchup. Like, it's going to be tough against Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown, 2 very good, very strong defenders that could easily shut him down. And then, I mean, then the rotation is kind of, a mess. I mean, Kelly Olynyk, DJ Augustine, they've been the bright spots, but they're not getting the minutes, So for me, I think this is a very easy fade with Boston. Very, back to almost full health. I think they dominate the Rockets here. Very easy fade. If you want to get cute and play someone, maybe Robert Williams, but I don't like it at all.
Big T, you seeing anything in this game, or is it most likely a fade here for you?
Yeah, I mean, these plays look decent on paper, but then you look, it should be a blowout spot. I mean, Boston has struggled at times. If this game stays close, I mean, these guys are solid, but it goes back to Hoop's original point when you got to dissect the slate that I think we've done pretty good this year at Run Pure, where sometimes you get too clouded where you want to play too many of these guys when the obvious plays are just right in front of you. You don't really need to go to these places. Like, I think Tatum and Brown are super safe. I've talked about this all year on this show. Yeah, he's 9,100. I think he gets you 45 fantasy points, but is he ever going to get you 60 in this spot? Probably not. And I want that upside. Same with Jaylen Brown. I think he gets you 40, but does he ever get you 60? I don't think he does. Robert Williams, like AP said, is probably my favorite because, again, he's a little cheaper at 67. We want in the 40s for that price. I think he could get you in the 40s. He could definitely get you there. And he's a center, which is a little bit better of a spot with how this slate sets up. So I would rank him Robert Williams, then Jaylen, then Tatum, but you don't need any of them. Same thing as I've done all year. I'm going to plug the numbers in and see how they fall, but I'm guessing I'm not going to land on anyone except maybe Time Lord.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we kind of all are on the same page in that one. All right, so we're at about 600 people, already about 300 likes. We got the tickets. We'll be staking 2 people in the DraftKings contest tonight, courtesy of our boy JSU. Had the big win last night, $200,000 win on DraftKings. 2 teams, $1,000. Goes against all the haters, the people. Oh, yeah, you guys only win because you play 150 teams and you got $40,000 on a slate. Not the case with our big wins. JSU, $1,000, 2 lineups, $200,000 win. He has decided to stick to really just listeners of the YouTube channel here. So, Big T, what do we got to get to in terms of likes? About 600. We got 300. I mean, people are doing a phenomenal job already at 300 likes. What do we want to get to, 400 or so?
Just because of the good mojo, I think we'll make it easy and do these numbers. 444 for the 444 ticket, 555 for the 555 ticket. I mean, good mojo, good even numbers. I mean, impress us. And who knows, like Hoop said, we've been known to just get excited and give something else too. Who knows?
Yeah. So make sure you're pounding that like button and also subscribe as well. We are finally over the 5,000 mark. Talked about the 5,000 mark for a while. Producer Simon, very happy now. He wanted that 5,000 number. He got the 5,000 number. So pound the like, 444 for the 444 ticket.
Might need to come in and give a seat to someone for that 5,000 number. Get them excited and blow them away for the 5,000.
Simon, you might have to turn that video on, bud. Turn the video on. Get in here. People would love to. The people would love to have you. Don't be shy. You can hop on at any point. All right. Next game on the docket here. The Mavericks, Knicks, 212.5 total. Dallas favored by 6. And, man, I mean, this is, I hate to kind of, be redundant here, but this is another game that I have probably no interest in. It's a low total game. Dallas favored by 6. I mean, the Knicks have been known to kind of muddy up these games. Probably, what is this, the lowest total on the slate? Just about the lowest total on the slate. I'm going to keep it simple from my end. I'm not playing anyone from this game. I'll go to you first, Big T. Any interest in Mavs or Knicks guys tonight?
Oh, I mean, it goes back. I hate to be redundant over and over, but what are you going to play guys in this game for? I think that's one of the things you need to do on these bigger slates is just completely get rid of games. I keep saying it, but we'll be in Discord 20 minutes before lock, and people will ask me a question like, I don't know the example, but RJ Barrett and someone, and I'll be like, in my head, I don't even know RJ Barrett's on the slate because
good though, obviously.
Play for me. So I'll say who, and then people will laugh. I punt games. You don't need to play guys from this game. Sure. Maybe you don't, maybe one of them goes off and you don't have a chance to ship first place in a tournament, but you're giving yourself so much better of a chance in the long run to profit and have big hits by just totally ignoring these games. Sure, Randall can go off. Sure, Luka can go off. Sure, people can go off, but they're not as good of plays as other games. So I'm going to fade completely too.
I love that move. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of the same way. When I cross off a game, I literally forget that the game's on the slate. I forget that the players are on the slate as well. And from a content perspective, I think that's the right thing to do. But when people ask you questions, yeah, it's difficult because you're literally like writing people off and they just don't even exist to you. AP, I mean, any interest in Mavs or Knicks here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, so I agree with you guys 100%. I will say Luka Doncic, you can play him at the small forward position on DraftKings. There's a lot of value at the guard position. And so I'm not saying I'm going to be on him. I'm interested. Like, what do we?
That's a good point.
Like, what do we need? Like, what if these? All right, so like Kira Lewis, there's a lot of values that we're going to get to. If they all crush and Luka gets us 55, it could be enough. It could outdo some of these other upper mid tier plays that we're looking at. So he's the only guy on my list, and I'm not sold because we have a few other spend up options that I like. It's a slow paced matchup, but man, and Luka hasn't been that good at all, but we've seen him at random times just go off. So, I mean, the upside is there. He's the only guy I'm looking at though in this spot.
It's a good example. AP.
That is a good point.
It's a good point he brings up, because yesterday on the show I said there's no way I'm playing Kawhi ever. But I think we can't forget this when we're building, that sometimes it's roster construction too. And you got Luka and Julius Randle are both eligible at forwards and centers and guards and a bunch of different spots, to where I think the best move you can do in tournaments is under project these guys. Like project Luka at 50, project Julius Randle at 45 or something. And you know what? If they still hit your team, you don't really need the upside from them, because like AP said, maybe Kyra Lewis gets you 35 or something, and all of a sudden 50 is good from Luka. You don't need the upside that you would need if your cheap guys go off. So I think it's a great point from AP. Just don't ever completely pull them out of your player pool, the studs. Just under project them.
Yeah, and the point you brought up, I mean, all the really good value on the slate is at the guard position. And, on FanDuel it might be a little bit different, but on DK, I mean, you only have 4 spots where you can essentially play these guards. So we need guys at forward. So, when we're filling up these 4 spots, guard, we need guys at the forward position. So, that's a good point to consider.
It was wild last night, not to interrupt, but it was wild because there was so many good guards last night that I projected Kawhi for 43, which was like way lower than everywhere else. And he still was hitting on my teams. That's how crazy it was at the guard position.
Yeah. And it's a really good point to bring up, and something that definitely should not be overlooked. So we'll hop into the next game here. We got the Timberwolves. We have the Grizzlies, 231 total. Grizzlies are favored by 6 in this game, and I think there's a couple plays here. I mean, not a ton from not anything that really stands out from an injury perspective. The same guys, Russell obviously out, Winslow out, Grayson Allen questionable. So we're not waiting on anything crazy here. A couple guys that I think are definitely interesting in this game. One, Karl Anthony Towns. He's finally getting back to, that guy we can count on for at least 50 fantasy points. The recent production has been very solid for him. Looking at 66, 56, 62, 32. Playing a lot of minutes, 40 minutes, 39 minutes, 33, 35 minutes. I think he is definitely a guy we can look to as a spend tonight. And then on the Grizzlies side, it's a little more difficult. I mean, I've been beating the Ja Morant drum for a while in tournaments. I think he's viable, but it kind of goes back to that point that AP brought up. Like, we have a ton of really good guards tonight. It's really hard to get away from some of those guard plays. So I don't think he's the best play. So for me, primarily Karl Anthony Towns. I actually think he's a really good play today. I'll go to you, Big T. Any interest here in this Timberwolves Grizzlies game?
Yeah, I mean, it's more of the same, and you broke it down perfect. Maybe you under-project Cat and Ja a little bit. I mean, you can definitely play Cat, but he kind of falls into that same bucket for me where I don't necessarily trust him as much as I probably should, but I'm okay if I land on him because of how much value, and he's at the center position. So, I mean, he's projected for anywhere like 50 to 54 around the industry. If you project him for 49 or 50, like I think that's a good projection to plug in there. And if he still hits for you, I'm good with that. I'm not like forcing him in, but I do think he's a good play, like you said. And then Ja, he's always got that upside. I'm not a huge Ja guy because when he stinks, he really stinks, which shouldn't matter as a tournament player. But I still like a little bit of safety. It reminds me of Mangone the other day saying De'Aaron Fox at 9,800 was a safe play, and that was funny times because that was just crazy what he was talking about. But
good.
What's that?
Good thing you got your boy back in the saddle to not have awful takes like that. I mean, I'm still traumatized from the Paul Millsap. We ended up calling it the limp biscuit or limp dish rag play of the day. That was like his first ever official play, and he goes with Paul Millsap. But your boy Hoop's back to straighten that ship out for sure.
Yeah, I mean, 9,800 De'Aaron Fox too, but that's beside the point. Yeah, I mean, Cat and Ja. I mean, again, I hate to just keep saying the same stuff, but we're going to focus on those couple spots that are very good, and then these filler pieces. I'm just going to project them where I think they should be and see how they fit in with all the really good pieces. I'm not going to force them in, though.
Yeah, I agree with everything there. AP, thoughts here on this Timberwolves Grizzlies game?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty decent matchup for Karl Anthony Towns. 10K, like he's shown a really good floor like recently. I mean, 53, 62, 56. 64. Yeah. He has one bad game against Dallas. He put up 38. Outside of that, he's been playing pretty good. And we talked about it not too long ago. With the value that we have tonight, it's going to come down to our projections, running the optimizer, and just seeing where these guys land. So like with Cat versus Luka, if I bring Luka to say 55, and let's just say I put Cat at 54, you factor in the price difference there. See where these guys land. Like I feel pretty good about Cat getting 54 tonight. If he hits my build, he hits my build then, and I go with him. I think that's kind of what I'm going to do tonight. So, like I have Cat in my player pool right now. I'm looking at the playbook. I can't play anyone on the Grizzlies side. I agree with you guys with John Morant. He's fine, but man, the Grizzlies have a very deep bench. They can go really deep into their rotation if they want to, and so. I don't see the need to go there on this slate, even though they do have a good matchup. I'll give them that. I think I'll be fading their side for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting slate here with 10 games where it's just a very consolidated number of games that are truly in play from a DFS perspective. And then, that's one way that you can get an edge against your opponents because a lot of people just are not willing to cross games off the slate. And, I honestly think that's one thing that we do a really good job of at RPS for our members, lead them in that direction where you don't have to be on every game or get exposure to X amount of players. I mean, each slate is different. It's a 10-game slate. And I mean, honestly, to me, there's a lot of games that you can just go ahead and forget about for the most part. All right.
Luke, you missed one of the best workbenches yesterday. There's no way you saw it from the beach, but your boy goes on there and calls LaMarcus Aldridge as the workbench play. Not only does he end up starting, but DeAndre Jordan just gets a healthy scratch. I mean, that was one of the best workbenches of the year. We'll just keep stroking on this show.
I mean, when things are going good, they're going good. And LaMarcus Aldridge
how much I hate Aldridge too.
Oh,
I hate
gosh, that had to be painful.
I mean, that 4K price tag wasn't painful though.
Whew. Yeah, that's a good point.
We talked about it on the bet show. He looked good out there, man. He looked fresh. Yeah. This is a great call. Very good call.
Yeah. That's solid. I mean, that's just those transactions. Aldridge, Blake Griffin, and who was the other dusty old timer they picked up? Who was the third soldier they got there? It was
I don't know who the other one was.
Whatever, but you know what I'm saying. Like surprising they made those moves, but yeah, Aldridge did look good. I saw some of those highlights. Be interesting to see what happens with that situation moving forward. That's for sure. Before we hop into the next game, just want to remind you guys we still have that partnership going with Monkey Knife Fight. So you head on over to Monkey Knife Fight, use the promo code RUNPURE. You get a $50 match on your $50 deposit at Monkey Knife Fight. We have a Discord channel devoted to Monkey Knife Fight picks and plays throughout the day for just about every single sport that's available. So head on over to Monkey Knife Fight, use that promo code RUNPEER for $50 match on your $50 deposit. All right, let's hop into the next game. And we have the Hornets and the Pacers, 219 total. Pacers favored by 5. A little bit of injury news here on the Hornet side. No Malik Monk, which should continue to be a boost for guys like Terry Rozier, Devontae Graham. Gordon Hayward had a big game the other night. So I think those guys are potentially in the conversation, but it's kind of a little bit hard, especially with Rozier and Graham. We have a ton of guards, and it's really hard to sacrifice some of this value at guard to play one of these guys. So me personally, I'd be more inclined to just take a shot on a guy like Gordon Hayward if I was going anywhere in that game. And then on the Pacers side, I mean, they're basically at full strength. It makes it very, very hard to trust any of their guys from a fantasy perspective. I mean, you can always take a look at Brogdon, Sabonis. Those would probably be the only guys, but I once again, I'm probably not going here. I think my favorite play in this game is Gordon Hayward, just because forward position's kind of weak on the slate, but I'm not going overboard in this game as well. So we'll stick with you, Big T. Any thoughts here on this Hornets-Pacers game?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it a bunch lately. Indiana is totally out of play right now with the roster back somewhat full, and just the prices are too high because they haven't adjusted to LeVert and different things going on with the rotation. So I think they're all too expensive. And man, if there's the opposite of the workbench, and I'm not meaning this to make fun of Mangone, because he called PJ Washington yesterday on the play, which goes hand to hand. PJ Washington has been a disaster. I mean, he went the last 4 games, 22, 25, 10, 25. I mean, for a dude that's over 6K on DraftKings, that's not even missionary. That's not even a kiss in the parking lot. That's holding hands at the movies and then going in separate cars back to the house. So, I mean, oh man, Charlotte is just a team that I got to stay away from. I keep trying to make these plays happen. Like Hayward sucks when I take him. Washington sucks when I take him. Rozier's overpriced. I'm done with Charlotte. I'm crossing them off. I want to pretend they don't exist. This game's a fade for me.
AP, you seeing this one any differently?
No, I agree with Tony. Look, I'm until Ball's back. I mean, he's not. So until next season, I'm done with the Hornets. Like Hayward, I occasionally get sucked into playing this guy. And
does it ever work out?
It rarely.
It never works out.
I can't recall. Yeah, it never works out. So like, if he beats me one night, he beats me. I really think I'm just not going to play him, and he's always somewhat popular too. So easy fade. I'm not playing anyone in this game. I mean, yeah, I'll leave it at that. We'll make it nice and easy.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't want to be redundant with the analysis here. And, that's definitely something that we don't want to get in a habit of. But, I mean, that's honestly the nature of this slate. And the reason is because of this next game that we're about to talk about. The Hawks, Pelicans, 213 total. Pelicans favored by 1.5. And on the Hawks side, no Trae Young. No, who else is out? No Trae Young, no John Collins, no DeAndre Hunter, no Gallinari. Very, very thin team. On the Pelican side, they ruled out all their guys again. No Lonzo Ball, no Brandon Ingram, no Zion Williamson. So we have just endless value in this game with all those guys out. You're talking basically 7 key guys from this game out. Spread's close. These guys, a few guys are going to play a lot of minutes. On the Hawks side, I don't think it's as clear in terms of who the value is. Like, it's not as clear as on the Pelican side. So for me personally, I think you can take a look at Kevin Huerter, Bogdanovich, Clint Capella, I think is a strong play. Lou Williams, 4.4K on DK, very strong play. You can take a look at all those guys. On the Pelican side, we had this situation the other night. Alexander Walker, phenomenal play despite the price bump. Eric Bledsoe, he sucked all season long. Have to consider him tonight. James Johnson, 3K, minimum price, going to start again. Very strong play. Kira Lewis Jr., 3.7K on DK, strong play. Wesley Wando you can consider. Steven Adams. I mean, we have about 10 to 11 guys that are very, very strong options in this game. Most of them happen to be pretty damn cheap. So that's why the slate is pretty simple. And that's why I said at the beginning, it's a don't get too cute slate, because these values to me are too good to pass up. You just play these guys. So we'll go to you, AP. What are your thoughts overall on this Hawks-Pelicans game?
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of nut spot of the slate, getting this spot right. So, okay, like, I got to ask you guys a question. I'm showing a sub-5 ownership. This has to be wrong. And maybe not. Maybe I'm a donkey. But a sub-5% ownership projection on Lou Williams?
I can't imagine that would be accurate.
I mean, I would be very heavy on him if that's the case. Because who else is gonna, who else is gonna really run point for them? I mean, Herter might be able to do a little bit. You got Skylar Mays potentially, Brandon Goodwin, but like those guys aren't good. I really think Lou Williams is gonna get a lot more run. We saw him get 22 minutes, I think, off the bench yesterday. So I think he gets 30 plus minutes here and crushes. Like, the total in this game plummeted. It was at 222 earlier, so it came down 10 points. But look, we have a bunch of small dudes. We got Herter and a bunch of shooters. We got Bogdanovich, Herter, Lou Williams, and then on the other side we have Nickeil Alexander-Walker. We have Kira Lewis. Those dudes can get buckets. Eric Bledsoe. I mean, I don't like him that much, but he's going to score. Like, I could see this game going over. Like, I think we're going to see some points in this game if we get the pace, if we get a fast pace and decent shooting. So for me, I think it's all about getting the values and the coordination with your roster construction right. And so what I'm looking at that is like Bogdanovich, you can plug him in at small forward, and which will allow you to get access to more guards in this game. So when I was talking about Luka, that's what I was looking at. Jamming in a lot of these elite guards in this game, and then seeing where the spend up options are.
Yeah, very solid strategy. And like with Lou Williams, I can't imagine he'd be around that 5% number, but I mean, I definitely could be wrong. Big T, thoughts on the potential Lou Williams ownership, and then break down this game overall.
I mean, this game is the nuts for a reason. You just got to figure out where you want to go. I mean, last night we basically diced it up perfectly, where I still think Bledsoe's like the worst play. I mean, last night he played – I watched the whole game with Uncle T over last night. We watched it. The dude played 46 minutes counting overtime. He only had 36 fantasy points, and he doesn't look like he even really tries all that much. And he's going to be probably the most popular again, because people always jam him in there. When he's starting, he's projected super high. And there's just so many good plays at the guard in this game. I mean, Alexander Walker is just a total lock. He's one that's just a total lock. I mean, he crushes in these games. So that's one guard spot. I mean, Lou Williams, like you got, and Kyra too. I should just say that. Like, Kyra and are basically mortal locks for me at guard. I mean, so that's two guys. That's two guard spots right there. You only have the other guard spot and then the utility if you wanted. So you're really starting to get thin. That's the only reason I think Lou Williams could end up a little bit lower owned, because everyone's going to play 2 or 3 New Orleans guards. Like, you just have to. There's no way around it. So there's not spots left for Lou Williams. And he hasn't looked great this year, but we're all Lou guys. We love Sweet Lou. It's a really good spot for him. You have to think he's going to come through tonight. And I like it. I mean, I'm going to play him over Eric Bledsoe. Bledsoe is going to be the odd man out for me again. If he beats me, he beats me. I just don't like his effort level. He can't shoot. It doesn't look like he tries. He played a ton of minutes last night. So you could see Stan giving Kyra more run tonight over him. He checks all the boxes of a fade for me. Like, he's a great play. I get why people – I'm sure if you pull the cash chart up, he's going to be one of the best plays. He has to be. He projects out that way. But in tournaments, when you want to win a tournament – and I freaking missed it yesterday, so we stroked all night. One thing I messed up on yesterday, on the show yesterday, I said eventually Wendell Carter is going to go off, and I want to be a part of it. And then I played freaking Steven Adams at the same price point over Wendell Carter in the same game. Those are the pivots that win you a tournament. Play Wendell yesterday over Steven Adams, and you just totally print. I messed up there. Tonight, I think the pivot off Bledsoe to one of these other guards, Lou Williams, Kyra, I mean, another guy that I don't think you can play tonight is Horder. Like, how can you play Horder over those guys I just named? I can't play Horder over Lou Williams. I can't play him over these New Orleans guys. So he's not going to quite get it for me. But, man, I mean, how do you not play bare minimum 3 guards from this game? How do you not? There's no way around it. Yeah. I mean, which means, like Hoop said and these guys said earlier in the show, maybe we end up playing some of the forwards, even like a Julius Randle that we don't love because of the floor. Like, we have all these cheap guards. We have to spend somewhere. Maybe that's what ends up happening here.
Yeah. I like her a little bit more. I mean, he's stepped up in some of these games that Trae Young has been out. I think he gets a lot of ball handling responsibility.
He's got red hair.
He does have red hair. That is unfortunate for him. The fire crotch, I mean, is probably probably not the best look. But with Bogdanović, it's been, it's much harder to see how those two kind of mix and gel together. So I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely going to be on Herder. I think he's a strong play. Lou Williams.
Who are you going to play him over though? If you play Herder, like who are you not playing?
I mean, in tournaments, I'd get exposure to all these guys for sure. I got 100%.
Your one team though. If you're playing one team, who can you possibly?
Well, I think him versus Lou Williams is a little bit closer.
The New Orleans guys though. Over Kyra?
No. I'm not. I would definitely choose all the New Orleans. I'm saying if I'm playing three Pelicans guards and I'm going to play a Hawks guy, I think it's close between Herder and Williams. But I would definitely choose all the Pelicans guys over Herder, just to be clear.
So Lou's going to he might end up where that ownership is, because there's only 4 spots total. So if we're playing the 3 New Orleans guys, you only got 1 spot left.
Yeah, and remember the Toronto guys too. You got
and the Toronto. So how did the Toronto guys rank for you, AP? Like compared to these guys?
Yeah, I mean it's So that could be the case for sure.
It's hard. These New Orleans guys just feel like total freaking locks, though. It makes it tough to play other dudes.
I do agree with the Bledsoe take. I definitely agree with the Bledsoe. I think if you're the sharp tournament fade is Bledsoe, because he's definitely going to get the ownership because of the minutes and all that. Like you said, I don't know who you're talking about, but the motivation, like he goes out there and he just looks like he does not give a shit. Like he just goes out there with zero effort on occasion. And that's not good, because there's nothing more tilting than watching a guy play 40 minutes of basketball and do absolutely nothing from a fantasy perspective. And I think that's definitely in the realm of possibilities for Eric Bledsoe tonight.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. Well, I mean, this is clearly the most important game, though, of the slate. I mean, all the ownership on the slate is going to come from this game. We know who's going to be popular. We know, who the strong values are. It's just really, navigating through your lineups and figuring out the fades. And, the Bledsoe thing, I think, is it's definitely a strong take. And I kind of agree with it from a tournament.
It's just roster construction, right? Like, I mean, you just, I know I say this every freaking show too, but this is where the optimizer comes into play. Even if you're only playing one team, put these numbers in where you're comfortable with it and just see who hits your teams and just see how they look.
Yeah. No, it's certainly. All right, we will move on to the next one. But before we do that, just want to remind you guys, after us, we have JSU coming off the big win last night. Holden taking you guys up to lock, final countdown, breaking down all the news and notes of the slate. Could get something out. I mean, I feel like we got most of the news that we're waiting on, but never know, something could pop up. You definitely want to tune in and hear his analysis, especially for this game that we just talked about, the Hawks and Pelicans. So head on over to Run Pure Sports. If you're not a member, I think it's a good time to give us a try. No longer have the promo code, unfortunately. We'll get something going down the road here, but too good of a value as it is. MLB, NBA going at the same time, winners in multiple sports. I mean, we had to pull the plug on the 25% off. So $80 gets you everything DFS wise, $100 DFS and bets combo. So head on over there, check us out. All right, let's move on to the next game.
One more thing real quick, just because someone in the chat said it. No James Johnson love. Yes, we didn't talk about James Johnson. He's like, I mean, if he starts, he's like a lock at 3K. I mean, he's 3K. We forget, sometimes we forget to even mention some people that are just like total locks. I mean, if he starts, he's just a lock. He's a forward. So, Yeah, you're going to play James Johnson as long as he starts.
I'd assume he would, and I mean, even if he does, he's going to get run in this game. I mean, there's just no way that he doesn't. So this game is 9 p.m. Eastern. Probably won't have it right at lock time, but yeah, forward is lacking a little bit. I did mention his name when I broke into the game, but yeah, if he starts, he's clearly a lock. It's going to be super, super popular on the slate. All right, Bulls, Jazz, 225.5 total. Utah favored by 12.5. Typically don't play players against the Bulls or against the Jazz. That is the case tonight. I mean, I'm not going to play any Bulls, to be honest with you. And then Utah, we've talked about it all season, and I hate to bring up the same talking points, but when they're at full strength, it's just a hard team to consider for DFS purposes. Donovan Mitchell not on the injury report tonight, so he should play. They'll be at full strength. They have a lot of different options fantasy-wise. This game is a cross off and forget about for myself. Go to you first, AP. Are you seeing this one any differently?
No, I couldn't imagine playing a guy in this game. I don't know how I cross it off. I'm not going to have anyone. I mean, the only case you could make, Donovan Mitchell. We see him sometimes in these cupcake matchups, get extended run, but still, almost 9K now. I'm not going there. I mean, I just can't do it. Easy fade for me. I'm off this game.
All right, Big T, anything for you in this Bulls Jazz game?
No, I mean, I agree completely with what AP said. We're working our way to this 444 number for that first ticket, so keep hitting that like button.
Yeah, so if you just hopped into the show, JSU coming off the big win yesterday, $200,000 win in MLB, decided to, do things the RPS way and give back. He said, you know what? I'm going to give away a $444 ticket. I'm going to give away a $555 ticket tonight. Which is which? The 444 is for
is hoops.
Is basketball. The 555 is MLB. So in order to get there, we need the likes to get up there. We need 444 likes for the 444 ticket. We need 555 for the 555 ticket. So if you're watching, pound the like button. You have an opportunity to win these tickets tonight. We want to get these things drawn so these contests don't fill. So it's a good time to pound the like, and while you're at it, hit the subscribe button as well. But do it quickly, though, because we're kind of running out of time. So make sure you pound that like button. Next game on the docket is the Lakers and Kings game. The total in this one is 220.5. Sacramento is favored by 5. And, on the Lakers side, they're obviously still going to be without LeBron, still without Anthony Davis, still without Andre Drummond. Wesley Matthews is listed as questionable. And then on the Sacramento side, pretty much at full strength. Hassan Whiteside is questionable to play. We definitely won't have that news at tip. So some guys that are standing out to me in this game, with no Andre Drummond, I think, Montrezl Harrell's a guy you can consider. Kuzma's somewhat interesting just because we need power, or we need forwards essentially. And then on the King side, they're mostly a fade for me. I'm not going to really be playing any of these guys at full strength, especially on the slate where we have so much value and pretty solid spend ups as well. Go to you first, Big T. Thoughts here on this Lakers-Kings game?
Yeah, I mean, the Lakers and the Kings have been kind of polarizing for these shows because I've just punished the Lakers again tonight. I mean, I hate going back to this, but, man, I don't see how the Lakers stay in this game. Do I risk giving the streak? I think I'm on like a 14-game freaking win streak on these shows. Do I risk giving out? Yeah, I'm doing it. Tonight's winner is going to be the Kings because the Lakers, they beat up on 2 cupcakes, which got them some false sense of security. It was I don't even know who the 2 teams were. I'm going to look real quick. Orlando and Cleveland.
Yeah.
They played good versus those 2 teams. Then
2
Milwaukee
dead
pounded
teams.
them. Sacramento's going to pound them tonight. So I'm putting the streak on the line right now. I'm taking Sacramento to win by double digits again. They're going to pound this team. But that being said, you can't really take any Sacramento guys because, Fox, I mean, he's under 9K now, but we don't need guards. We've already talked about the guards. We need forwards and a center maybe that fit with our roster construction. So you can put Kuzma in play, even though I don't like the Lakers. He's in play. Maybe Traz, and now that his price is getting cheaper. But, I mean, they're not going to be top-tier plays. If you land on Kyle Kuzma, Sacramento doesn't play a ton of defense. So I'm okay with Kuzma if you landed on it. Like I could see him getting a solid game.
Mm-hmm.
So give me Kuzma a little bit, maybe a little bit Trez, and the rest of the game I'm off. Except for that winner, the streak's going on the line. Kings by double digits tonight. I think the spread's only like 4, so lay the 4. Maybe some alt lines too in there, but I think they win by double digits.
Go to your local bookie and lock that in. This guy's on a heater from a betting perspective. Kings -4, 5, whatever it is. Just take the Kings and print. AP thoughts here on this Lakers-Kings game from a fantasy perspective.
What's funny is that spread. I think that spread's pick from the bet show today, and I had the Kings are and I have them in some guy wanted a money line parlay, and I gave him Kings money line and the Pacers money line. We got the Kings covered.
We got the full circle going here today on the show.
Very good about that. The Kings are a team we can attack. So like, if this game stays competitive, which it should, we could see Schroeder, Kuzma, and Trez maybe get there. I don't love it. I don't like this Lakers team. I'm really with you guys. I think maybe that argument will get more people on it. And if it beats me, it beats me. When you look at some of these other plays, like how am I playing Schroeder over some, like he takes up a guard position that, why would I play Schroeder over Na? Like Na's cheaper. Na's going to outscore him. Like, so it's one of those things. You got to go adjust the optimizer, put Schroeder in where he is. I don't think he's going to hit. I think it would take a lot for him to hit.
I think it's almost impossible for him to hit. I'll take it that far. Like, there's so many good guards. If Dennis Schroeder ends up on that optimal tonight, I will be legit stunned.
Yeah.
It's
just – go ahead.
Kuzma's the one guy you could make an argument for. He's going to shoot. He's been aggressive, and you can play him at the small forward position or power forward position. So I could get behind that, but I'm probably going to be off this game.
Yeah, and it just goes into the bucket with a lot of other games, and it's just honestly the nature of the slate. We're looking for very specific things. We have the guards. We've got 7 or 8 good guard values. Like, we know what we're doing there. It comes down to the forward positions and the center positions, what you want to do there, and that's kind of what's going to make or break the slate. And that's also the way that you can get unique because, like I said, we know where all the ownership's coming from. You have 3 or 4 positions to really make the difference tonight. And that's why a lot of these games are cross-offs. And unfortunately, we're going to another one that I think is going to be an easy fade as well. You have the Thunder, you have the Suns, 221 total. Phoenix is favored by 13 points in this game. Our approach all season long, for the most part, when these Suns are at full strength, their style of play and the way their roster is set up is just not conducive for good fantasy outputs. So we've been fading them. I have a hard time making a case for any of these guys in this game against the Thunder where they're favored by 13 at home. And then on the Thunder side, they're going to be without some guys, but their price tags really aren't all that good. We have that value in Atlanta. We have that value in New Orleans, and you look at the price tags, and these guys are all over 5K. It's just really hard to click their names in this matchup against the Suns. So for me, this might be the easiest, fade on the slate. But let's hear it from you guys. We'll go to you first, Big T. Any way you're playing a Thunder or Suns guy tonight?
No, you said it best. Like, I honestly don't think I've played a Suns guy outside of just a total filler. Like, just I fell on a guy like Bridges or somebody to fill out my team. I haven't played a Suns guy on purpose all season long. Like, I don't think, outside of injury games. Whatever. So I'm definitely off this game, and it's a late game. I'm never forcing guys in the late game. So unless they just stick off the page, I'm definitely not playing them. And we're over this 444, and this thing's getting ready to sell. So while AP,
I got the guy here. If we're ready to give it away.
Yeah, the 444. Let's
all right, so here's going to be the winner of the 444 ticket. And to get to the 555 ticket, obviously we need about 100 more likes. So pound that like button.
They need to give away JSU too. They need to send him a message in the Discord.
Yeah, so make sure you reach out to JSU some way, shape, or form. But do it quickly because he hops on his show in about 20 minutes. So the winner is going to be Seth McLennan, I believe is how you pronounce the name. Seth McLennan. He said, I've been a member of other sites before, but nothing compares to RPS. The guys are truly the best and want their members to do just as good as them. So glad to find a home with RPS. That hit the heart. I mean, that was a very nice message. And the best part about the message, it's the truth. It's the truth. And that's how we built our team. We built our team based on the principles that Seth just laid out. So Seth, you win the ticket to the 444 tonight. We'll definitely be rooting for you. We'll get a link tweeted out so the RPS community can get behind and back you tonight. So make sure you reach out to JSU very quickly to get this settled. Seth McLennan is the winner. So good luck tonight, Seth.
Yeah,
All right.
I love it. I mean, I know it's our product and we're partial towards it, but I'm genuinely happy when people win, and it's just how it is. The good mojo keeps going. Like we had Big Dick Nick giving out the ticket.
Yep.
We had another dude give out 3 months of membership to the people. Everybody's giving. That's what keeps the good mojo going. And I believe Hoop knows I believe in this stuff.
Oh.
When that good mojo's flying, there's a reason we're at the top of that leaderboard every night. Members and coordinators and everybody. Like the good mojo's flowing, and we're going to keep it going.
Yeah, everyone's pulling for each other. Everyone's rooting each other on. Like in the Discord, we got sweats. People, even if they're not having the best night, they're in there rooting on other people to ship. I mean, just a great community aspect, and that's kind of what we're going for. It's just a community, not just DFS picks and plays and projections and bets. We want to build a community where people feel welcome and supported, and it's kind of what we're going for. And what Seth said there kind of lays it out best. So. Just nice to hear stuff like that.
Yep.
All right, one more game on the slate here. Hopefully we're giving away the last ticket, and then we'll go into the plays of the day. But this one's a pretty good one. On paper, it looks nice. You got a 239 total, Bucks, Trailblazers. Bucks favored by 3 in this game. I just feel like if people are spending tonight, if they have a spot to spend, I think it's probably going to be Giannis in this matchup. I mean, big team total for them, 121. The price is pretty fair. It's easy to get him in. I think he's the guy that people go to, especially in cash games. Curious to get your guys' take in tournaments, but I'm really not going to consider anyone else on the Bucks side. They're pretty much back to full strength. I don't think there's any real injury. PJ Tucker out, that doesn't count all that much. Jeff Teague, he doesn't really have a role yet. And then Bobby Portis is questionable too. So it could be another little boost, I guess, for Giannis if he were to sit. On the Trailblazers side, they're a tough team now that McCollum's fully back. I mean, Lillard treated us well when McCollum was out, but McCollum back makes it tough from a fantasy perspective. So for me, I mean, really the only thing I'm seeing here is Giannis. And I think he's a good spend. I think he's definitely got to consider in cash games. AP from a tournament perspective, what are you seeing here in this game?
Yeah, okay. So the best thing about Giannis, and you'll see this when you start making builds, it kind of comes together, but you can play him at the center position on DraftKings. And actually it makes a huge difference. And I think when people see kind of that build path, it's definitely going to drive his ownership up because now you're comparing him against other centers on the slate, and it really opens up quite a bit. So I do think Giannis he's struggled of late. Like he hasn't, and a lot of it has been like Drew Holiday's been playing good. They're healthy. There's more mouths to feed, but we are so due for a Giannis eruption spot. And this is one of the best matchups he's going to get for it. So, and we might not even need like one of those like 70-point nights from him. Like a 58 or 60-point night might do it. So I have a ton of interest in Giannis, and I'm probably going to be plugging him in at the center spot. And that's probably it for me in this game. Like I don't, I have, like, if you remember and you're looking at the playbook, I got CJ McConnell up there. It's just going to take so much for these guys to hit. And if you want to get different, if you want to get very different, it's a perfect slate for that. I just, I don't think you necessarily need to. I think you go down this path, there's a very good chance that you're going to return some money, 3X, 4X tonight. And I'm pretty happy with that. So for me, it's Giannis, and I'm probably moving on.
Yeah, just got news that Rubio is questionable. So Ricky Rubio questionable. Might get more value at guard. Who the hell knows? That game is 8 p.m. Eastern, 1 hour after lock. So it's something, I guess, to monitor up to lock. All right, Big T, thoughts here on this Bucks Trailblazers game?
Yeah, I mean, I basically agree completely with what you guys are saying. I mean, Giannis, is just going to fit the way the roster construction is tonight, which honestly sucks because he's been awful. I know I'm the one that's always pounded that he's not good to begin with. And now the funny thing is, like, everyone agrees with me pretty much. But he's legitimately been bad the last 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, he used to at least give us a floor in the 50s. I mean, how many games is he's had 4 straight games below 50 now, 2 of them in the 30s. But that being said, AP brought up a great point. Like, I honestly think he doesn't even need 50 tonight at the center and forward because of how much value we have. If you guaranteed me even 50, if you told me Giannis is getting 50, I think he's a lock, which just shows you how it's all roster construction, because if he was a guard, I wouldn't even consider him. Like, you would need 70 from him at the guard. But at the forward and center, you're not going to need much. So he's going to hit your teams. Just, you can play around with the numbers like I do with the optimizer. If I plug him in at 50, he still hits all my builds. If you plug him in with a high projecting, he's obviously going to hit them all. So easy play there, super easy. And one sneaky guy in the game, though, in workbench consideration even, no one's going to play this dude, but Norm Powell, my boy. Milwaukee gets beat up from the perimeter. He's a forward, which helps, again, like we always talk about. He's in that range in the low 6Ks where, I mean, literally no one's going to play him. These are the plays that are perfect in tournaments because it's a late game. The matchup checks all the boxes. We want perimeter three-point shooters against Milwaukee. He'll be under 1% owned probably tonight, and you can put him with Giannis at the forward and center. You got a nice little hammer because everyone's going to have Giannis tonight. Everyone's going to play him, but no one's going to have Norm Powell. So maybe like you play him over a guy like Bogdan or something. Like, yeah, Bogdan is a great play. I love Bogdan. I'll probably have Bogdan in my core, but like that's a pivot that could win you a tournament. Going from Bogdan to Norm Powell, no one's going to have it. If he outscores Bogdan, you just totally print tonight.
I like that call. John Wall ruled out. Real quick thoughts on that, Big T. Does that change anything for you?
Doesn't change anything for me. We have too many good plays. AP kind of covered at the beginning. Like some of these other guys, maybe you could, but if you're playing 1 to 3 teams, why are you going to Houston on this slate when we have just total lock plays?
Yeah. AP, did that change anything?
Fade Powell on a second before AP. So the dude in the chat, fade Powell because of Holiday's defense. Why in the world would Why would Holiday be on Norman Powell?
I have no thoughts really on that one.
I mean, he'd be on Dame or CJ. Well, like, why would he be on Norman Powell? He owns Dame too. Like, he's always owned Dame.
Yeah, he's definitely on one of those two. He's not going to be going to Powell. That's for sure. AP, the Wall out. Does that change anything for you?
No, not at all. Actually, this is a slate. I hope we get a lot of news that takes, people off of like these league spots. Hopefully this gets, people like, oh, let's, Wall's out. Let's go KPJ or let's go, someone else. I mean, I hope news happens because I feel very good about the spots we're on. Anything to take people off of these spots, this Hawks game, I'm definitely going to be fine with.
Yeah. Big T, we're at 486. 486. What are we going to do here?
So I was sending a message to actually, let's go to the plays because I think JSU wants to come on and pick a winner. So Simon, Simon, send JSU the link. He'll come on and pick the 5. He'll come on and talk about the 555 real quick.
Perfect. All right, we'll hop into the plays. Oh man, I gotta throw it to you first, AP, because I'm struggling here with the plays. We're gonna go to AP first with are we still rolling the same name, or have we got anything better?
No, that's fine. Hair gel.
Right. Hair gel. Yeah, something about Mary hair gel play of the day. Who do you got for us?
Just got to make it look good first. There we go.
Yeah, freshen up a little bit.
Yeah, my night's it's really going to depend on Sweet Lou. I got to go. All my guys are going to be somewhat chalky. I think, like Big T said, Lou Williams ownership has to be down. Like it actually does because of how popular that spot is. I think, so if Lou Williams has a bad night, I'm probably not going to do good. I think he gets a lot of run here. I don't care if he starts or doesn't start. I think he's going to get extended run. I think he's going to get us a 40-piece tonight.
Love it. So Lou Williams, the official Something About Mary hair gel play of the day. All right, we'll go to myself next for the 4X play of the day. And that's going to be from the first game. I really didn't talk about it much. I know Big T mentioned him. It's going to be Gary Trent Jr. Like Gary Trent Jr. tonight. When that trade went down, the Norman Powell, Gary Trent Jr. trade, I said, hey, I don't think there's much of a difference between Gary Trent Jr. and Norman Powell. Stand by that. I really do stand by that. Now he's getting an opportunity in Toronto. Had the big game last time out. So give me Gary Trent Jr. as the 4X play of the day. All right. And lastly, we have the official Friday night. The weekend workbench plays are more important because that's really when you get down to business. Nice and relaxing weekend with the lady. It's really the time to put that workbench to use. So we need the Friday night official workbench play of the day. Who do you got for us, Big T?
I mean, you guys talked about it, but it's tough tonight because a lot of the guys I'm going to play are going to be pretty chalky. So it's going to be tough. So the one guy, I'm not sure where his ownership's going to be. He's going to be higher owned than Norm. If you want a low-owned guy, I already gave that play. It's not going to be the official one, but Norm Powell, I think, is a great play for it. I'm not going to play him is the only reason I don't want to. On my main team, I'll have some Norman Powell, but I don't want to give a guy that I know is not going to be on my team more than likely, but he's a good play unowned. I'm going to give a little chalkier of a guy. I don't think he's going to be like some insane number, though, so I'm okay with it. I always give 1%ers. Tonight it might be a 20%er, so people are going to have to deal with it. But Kyra Lewis Jr., I talked about Bledsoe playing a ton of minutes last night. I think Kyra gets a boost, and he's only 3,700. So even if he's 30% owned, like, I don't care. He's going to crush, and so is Nah. So my official workbench play, Kyra Lewis Jr., without a doubt.
Yeah, love it. I absolutely love it. And, yeah, he should, out of those guards, for the Pelicans, I'd assume that he comes in the low. I mean, Bledsoe will definitely be higher owned. Alexander Walker will definitely be higher owned. So
and you got Lou too. I mean, he might come in lower than we think, Kyra. Like he might come in 15% or something somehow.
Not a household name either yet. You know, those other guys are kind of household names in the DFS community, not him. So I definitely like that call for sure. All right. Oh, looks like the timing's perfect here. Looks like our boy JSU's hopping on.
Did he just click the button?
I believe so. He's joining us, and he's going to pick the winner, I believe, of the 5-5-5
I don't see his
tonight.
mug yet.
Don't see his mug, but he's coming on.
There he is. There's his mug.
Hey! There's the winner.
There we go. The big winner. Congratulations, man.
Thank you very much. And I had to come on here to pick the last winner because this guy, first of all, he's one of the most loyal RPS guys. I mean, he was loyal, as a DFS player. He's been around for a while, but he's always been in every show chat, bringing good mojo every single show. Never once. Always in there, always giving good feedback, always asking questions, but always appreciated us. And, on Twitter, the show chats, every chat, this guy brings it every single day. And I love him. Landa, you are the winner, my man. 555. Landa deserves it. Landa's the man. And no matter what show it is, golf, you guys know Landa, golf, NBA, MLB. The dude is in every single RPS chat there is. And we appreciate him. So, Landa, you are the winner. 555. Hit me up quickly, too. Hit me up Discord DM, Twitter DM, whatever it is. But shoot me a message quick.
I'm glad that you picked Landa. Landa has been a supporter of RPS literally since, day one. And he's loyal. It's not only the NBA shows, not only the MLB shows. We do the Tuesday night golf show he's hopping on. You guys do the Wednesday night golf show for the majors, which, by the way, you'll be on next Wednesday breaking down the Masters. Like, he is there.
He's on
every
the bet
day.
Shows every day, too. Every day on bet shows.
Because he likes winners, man. He knows where to come for the winners. Landa loves winners, and that's why he's here. So, Landa, make sure you reach out to JSU quickly because he has to hop on the final countdown, and this contest getting close to filling. So, reach out to JSU. to get that ticket. I mean, very generous gesture, JSU. I mean, we appreciate it. And we kind of talked about it on the show. It's what we're all about here. Like when we have success, we give back, and it's something we're all going to continue to do moving forward. Yeah,
for sure. And I mean, even our members, we got members staking other members, and it's just, it's great. It's great to see. It's great to see people giving back, us giving back when we win. It's the same thing. And we want you guys to win too. And that's what we try for every time we put out content for you. The content is put out not just for us to win, but for you guys to win too. That's why we do the content. We want to see you guys win. So to stake someone and to give them a shot for, big money, I'm happy to do it. And I'm just glad we got two guys that are really pumped up. I know the 444 winner, was it Scott or
Seth, I think.
Seth McClellan.
He sent me a bunch of DMs, just really pumped up, ready to go. So we got him all set up. He's in too. He's all signed up. He got in, so he's ready to go. Landa, hit me up before I jump on this next show.
Yeah, it's awesome. Great gesture. And, really, we'll tweet out those links too, so everyone can kind of get behind,
let's get a shipper too. Let's get a first place title, Landa, and let's get it tonight.
Make it happen. Be the first staked person to take it down in the RPS community would be great. So good luck to everyone tonight. We are obviously going to get off here, clear the way for JSU, taking us up to lock, breaking down this NBA slate. So for AP, for Big T, for JSU, I'm Hoop. Good luck tonight in your contest.